Hi everyone, thanks for coming back for the seventh episode of this quiz. When will it ever end, eh? Good to see many of you online already messaging in. I hope you've had a good week as well, and I hope you're all staying alert in whatever form you think that takes. We've got a decent quiz today for you. Let me just run through the rules and regulations. As always, you're all familiar with them, but you never know. There might be the odd new player involved. So I'll run through what we do, how it works. It's 10 rounds of 5 questions per round. There are 50 points on offer, 50 points on offer throughout the quiz. If you're playing as a group, let me know. If you're playing on your own, let me know. If you're on your own, or if you're a group, actually, you're playing against my Sunday League team, the Heroes of Waterloo. I do this quiz about a week earlier with the Heroes of Waterloo, and you're competing against some of my Sunday League team. And the winning quiz score last week, out of 50 points, was 33. And that was Tomo. Tomo scored 33 out of 50. Second time he's won the quiz. He's a big Norwich City fan. And he did give me some good info about his favourite Norwich game that I thought, well, I might as well share it with you. It was the Wembley playoff final of 2015. And he'd been on our Sunday League football tour to Rome the previous night. And he had to get an 8 a.m. flight back from Rome to get to the playoff final. He didn't get into his hotel room till 4:30 in the morning, was woken up at 6 in the morning by our goalkeeper stumbling back in, just about made it to the airport in time, got his flight, got to Wembley, something like 10 minutes before kickoff, and he saw Norwich get promoted. So I said I'd relay that story. Don't know why, but Tomo's won 2 quizzes for us. 33 points out of 50 he got. Who else in the quiz? Just to give you an idea, Bobby got 23 out of 50, so that was the low score. So between 23 and 33 is what you're looking for this evening in the quiz. Have a pen and paper. Don't share the answers on the sidebar or clues or anything like that. That's how this quiz works. We need you to keep your answers to yourself, and every 2 rounds I'll go through the answers, and after 4 rounds we'll have a quick drinks break even, and after 6 rounds we'll have a slightly longer toilet break where we can chat about anything in particular that floats your boat. The Patrick Battiston Harold Schumacher chat last week was very exciting, although it came after the toilet break. Following that big incident at the 1982 World Cup. So if anyone's got any more info on that, that's great. Loads of you messaging already. Richie Gillam, Jack Baxter, Graham Elliott, Caroline Smith, Nick Watkins. Great to see you all. So that's it. Let's go on with the quiz. Don't cheat, obviously. I know you don't cheat. It's a great crowd who play this, and it's great fun doing it. So get yourself ready. We're all congratulating Richard. I must have missed that. Why? But lots of congrats to Richard. Why was that? Why have I missed that? Anyway, it must have gone through on the message board before I noticed it. Right, where are we? Round number 1, quiz number 7. And the first question of round number 1. Round number 1 is League Cup Finals. League Cup Finals. And question 1. Last season's final was a 0-0 draw between Chelsea and Manchester City. City won 3-2 on pens. Can you name any of the penalty takers who missed? 3 penalties were missed, 2 of them by Chelsea players, 1 of them by a Manchester City player. Just have to name me any one of those 3 players who missed a penalty in last season's League Cup final. Cy Barlow, Chris Johnston, Crawford Miles, great to see everyone. David Watt in here as well. Neil McDonnell, Farrell Monk as well. Right, question number 2. Question number 2. Obafemi Martin's 89th minute goal clinched the League Cup for which club in the 2011 final? In the 2011 final. Obafemi Martin's 89th minute goal clinched the trophy for which club in the 2011 final? Nick Watkins is playing against Ramman and Eggman tonight. What an appalling sounding duo. Good luck against those pair, Nick. Question 3. Brian Steen and Danny Wilson scored for who in their 1988 League Cup final win? Brian Steen and Danny Wilson. Question number 4. The 2004 League Cup final saw two future England managers pitted against each other. Two future England managers came head-to-head in the 2004 final. Can you tell me which team won that final? Who won the final? Stewie Silver's pointing out that Danny Wilson is a former Owls favourite. He has indeed played for and managed the club. And question 5, the last question of the League Cup finals round. Rochdale were the first club from Division 4 to reach the final in 1962. Who were the last team from the bottom division to reach the final? Who are the most recent team from the bottom division to reach the League Cup final? Rochdale were the first. Let me know if you need any questions again, and I'll happily read them out. Forgot to do the shout outs as well to absent friends. A couple of players can't be with us this week. Chunder, the Bristol Rovers fan, working for the NHS. He can't play live tonight. He's playing on catch up. And Warren Ashurst is playing with his lad Luke on catch up as well. He can't play live tonight. Scores well, does Warren. He's got a good duo going there with his son, who's like a teenager, Warren in his 40s. So they cover all bases with this quiz. Mike Pinkham wants question 3 again. Mike, it is Brian Steen and Danny Wilson scored for who in their 1988 League Cup final win? Wolf Whistle podcast is in tonight. Very good Wolves podcast. Good to see you there. Paul Berry wants to know if we can spread the word on why Chunder is called Chunder. We can. It's mild. No, it's all right. It's fine. He's called Chunder because when he belches, it sounds like he's vomiting. So that's why he's called Chunder. It is something quite spectacular to hear it live. Jason's his real name, top fella, and a really dedicated NHS worker in these testing times. He never actually vomits, though. On a night out, he's never actually vomited or anything like that. Back in the day when everyone was younger, of course. Another one is his 40s now. Question 2 again, says West Ham blog. Yes, question 2. Obafemi Martin's 89th minute goal clinched the trophy for which club in the 2011 final? Obafemi Martin's. His 89th minute was scored for which club to win the trophy in 2011? Right, should we move on to question 4 from Tom Dell? Question 4. Yes, the 2004 League Cup final saw two future England managers pitted against each other. Can you name which team won that final? Two future England managers came head to head. Can you name which team won the 2004 final? Okie doke, let's go on. Let's go on to round number 2. I also forgot to mention, actually, there'll always be one question in this quiz about Steve Bull, the former Wolves goal scorer, former Wolves striker. He's not in this round, but when I saw the scorers, it did remind me there's always a Steve Bull question. In homage to the great man. Right, round number 2, international leading scorers. And question 1, who is Germany's leading scorer of all time? So that includes West Germany, East Germany, Unified Germany, whatever you want. Who is Germany's leading scorer of all time on 71 goals? On 71 goals. Question number 2. Who is Northern Ireland's all-time leading scorer? Who is Northern Ireland's all-time leading goal scorer? Question number 3. Cristiano Ronaldo is Portugal's leading goal scorer. It's a multiple choice this. Has he got 77, 88, 99 or 111 goals? How many goals has Cristiano Ronaldo scored for Portugal? Is it 77, 88, 99 or 111? Question number 4. Scotland's record is jointly held by Kenny Dalglish and who? It's 30 goals. Who holds that record? Kenny Dalglish and who? And question number 5, Lionel Messi is Argentina's leading goal scorer, but who is in second place on the list? Who is in second place on the list? Stu Mack getting lively on the chat. Stu, we don't need any clues or helps or hints. This quiz won't work if you're wading in. Great to see you playing again. Become a regular player, but everyone's got to have a crack of it on their own. So that's the international leading scorers. Question 5 again says Graham Elliott. Yes, question 5. Lionel Messi is Argentina's leading scorer. Who is in second place? Who is in second place? So Lionel Messi is Argentina's leading scorer. Who is in second place? So I'll give you a minute or so, or just less than a minute, to get the answers in shape, and we'll do all 10 questions for the opening 2 rounds and take it from there. So after 2 rounds, when I did this quiz with about 7 or 8 lads last week, the leading score after 2 rounds was 6. Luke had 6. And Bands and AK had 3 points. So anywhere in between 3 and 6, you're on par with the Sunday League boys. So let's go through the answers. Here they are. League Cup finals. The players who missed the penalty in last season's shootout, point for any of Jorginho, David Luiz or Leroy Sané. Just a point on offer. You only have to give me one name. Jorginho, David Luiz or Leroy Sané. Obafemi Martins scored an 89th minute winner for Birmingham City. Brian Steen and Danny Wilson scored for Luton in the 1988 League Cup final win. Mike Pinkham, apologies to you, Mike. It's slightly weighted against Arsenal, isn't it, in those 2 questions? Both all those players scoring against Arsenal. So Steen and Wilson, Luton players. The 2004 final was won by Middlesbrough. Steve McLaren against Big Sam. And Bradford City were the last team from the bottom division to reach the final. They played against Swansea a few years back after their incredible run. Round 2 is international leading goal scorers. Germany's all-time leading goal scorer is Miroslav Klose on 71. Northern Ireland's all-time leading scorer is David Healy. Cristiano Ronaldo has scored 99 goals. And Dennis Law is alongside Kenny Dalglish as Scotland's leading scorer on 30 goals. And the last answer, Lionel Messi is Argentina's leading scorer. Second place is Gabriel Batistuta. So let me know how you got on. They're the opening 2 rounds of this quiz. As I say, 6 out of 10 is a winning score. You're after beating the lads I play this quiz with from the Heroes of Waterloo. 6 out of 10 is a leading score in this. And Adrian Sanders straight in with 6. Steve Phillips on 2. David Watt on 7. Good stuff. Graham Elliott, who plays for the Heroes, is on 6. Cy Barlow on 7. And Paul Berry 7. Stewie Silves on 7. Good stuff. Steve Saul on 8. Steve's a great quizzer who runs a charity quiz on Thursday nights for the NHS. Nick Hansen 7, the Wolf Whistle on 2. Baz, Skip, Glenn and Odd, the team of 4 on 6 out of 10. Dan Owen 3, Dave Marlin 4, Richard Hughes 4, Andy Adamson 7, good scoring. Jake Murray 6 out of 10 for himself. Guy Barlow and Farrell Monk, good stuff. Great to see so many of you on board. Mark Fian's on 5, Chris is on 7. The London Wolves Supporters Club are in, which is brilliant. Trapper has got 10 out of 10. That is incredible. Don't think I've ever known anyone to have 10 out of 10 after 2 rounds. Well done, Trapper. Mike Pinkham 2 for both of Arsenal's defeats. 2's fine, Mike. Dave Tandy 2 as well. Really, I'm just glad that you're taking part, to be honest. Don't worry about the scoring. It's a very hit and miss quiz as well. Some rounds you do well, some rounds you won't. Right, round number 3 is teams in blue. Teams in blue. Rob Harris, 9 out of 10 from the Furlough Fan Club. Oh, you've just had your furlough extended as well today by the government, so that's good news. If you want your furlough extended, perhaps. Anyway, round number 3, we're digressing. Round number 3 is teams in blue. Teams in blue. And question 1, what is Shrewsbury Town's ground called? What is Shrewsbury Town's ground called? I'm sure there's a sponsor involved. I'm not interested in the sponsor. Just give me the name of the ground, not its sponsor's name. Question number 2, which team did England caretaker manager Peter Taylor get promoted to the Championship in 1999-2000? He got this team promoted to the Championship in 1999-2000. And very shortly after, I think he became caretaker manager. For one game, wasn't it? Just one game. He made Beckham captain. Well, captains don't really mean much in football. Right. Question 3. Question 3. Paul Power and Neil Poynton both played for 2 teams in blue. Can you name them? They played for 2 teams in blue. I think Poynton went on to play for a few others, but they were famous fullbacks who represented 2 clubs who are both in the Premier League. There's a gag in there somewhere as well about a PowerPoint presentation. But I'll leave it up to you to make the gags. Right, that's question number 3. Question 4. Which Scottish team play in the city of Perth? Which Scottish team play in the city of Perth? Poynton's nickname is Disser. Very good, Neil Disappointing. So you've got all the gags, lads. And question number 5, staying in Scotland, who are known as the Doonhamers? Who are known as the Doonhamers? Famous Scottish club. Great nickname as well. Do like an obscure Scottish nickname. So all the teams are in blue there. So that's your clue for that round. All the teams are in blue. Right, let's get on to round number 4. Round number 4, we'll have a short drinks break after this round, after I've done the scores. Oh, sorry, Graham Elliott wants question 3 in that round again. Sorry, G. Yes, Paul Power and Neil Poynton played for the same 2 teams in blue. Can you name those 2 teams? The same 2 teams in blue. Dave Watt wants to know if I've run out of Merlot. It was Malbec, Dave, but you're quite right. I have run out. Right, round number 4, the letter T. Round number 4 is the letter T. All answers beginning with the letter T, unless it's a footballer and then it's a surname. So, question 1 of the letter T round. Name the former France international who managed Fulham between 2000 and 2003. The former France international who managed Fulham between 2000 and 2003. Question 2. Only 5 managers have won league titles in 4 different European countries. So it's an exclusive list. Just 5 managers have won the championship of 4 different countries. Great achievement. I'll give you 4 of them. You just need to name me the other one. Carlo Ancelotti, Ernst Happel, Jose Mourinho, and Tomislav Ivic. So 4 of the 5 managers are Ancelotti, Happel, Mourinho, and Ivic. Who is the 5th manager who's won league titles in 4 different European countries? Question 3, it's that time of the night. Name the Black Country town where Steve Bull was born. The Black Country is the West Midlands, for those of you playing from further afield who may not be familiar with that. So the West Midlands town, the Black Country town Steve Bull was born. Question number 4. Which country were denied a draw against England at the 2018 World Cup when Harry Kane scored an injury time winner? So, one for the recent memory bank. This team, or this country, were drawing with England until Harry Kane popped up with an injury time winner at the 2018 World Cup. Who was that country? And finally, one for the older players, unfortunately. Who scored West Germany's winning penalty against England at Italia 90? You can have his first name. It was Olaf somebody. Reasonably famous German player. Who scored West Germany's winning penalty against England at Italia 90? Remember, all the answers begin with T. Right, let's do the answers and then we'll have 30 seconds. Can we have question 2 again for the letter T, says Caroline? Yes. So question 2, it is a complex question. Sorry, it's a bit wordy. 5 managers have won the league in 4 different countries. So they've won the league title of 4 different European countries. They are Ancelotti, Happel, Mourinho, and Ivic. Who is the 5th manager beginning with T? Ancelotti, Happel, Mourinho, and Ivic. And Richard Gillam wants question 4. Yes, which country were denied a draw against England at the 2018 World Cup when Harry Kane popped up with an injury time winner, or added time, if we're being pedantic, which we very often are. Have your toilet break now, actually, and then we'll do the answers in 30 seconds. We'll do the answers in 30 seconds. Okay, let's go through them. Let's hope your toilet is near your laptop. May be a bit shorter than 30 seconds. The answers: teams in blue, round number 3, teams in blue. Shrewsbury's ground is called New Meadow. New Meadow, not Gay Meadow, that's their old ground. I have to take New Meadow. Peter Taylor, the England caretaker manager, got Gillingham promoted. Paul Power and Neil Poynton played for Everton and Manchester City. Everton and Manchester City. I think Poynton also played for Oldham, but Power didn't. The Scottish team who play at Perth are St Johnstone. And the Doonhamers are Queen of the South. Queen of the South, what a lovely name. In the town of Dumfries. Right, round number 4, the letter T. John Tigana managed Fulham between 2000 and 2003. The missing manager was Giovanni Trapattoni. Steve Bull was born in Tipton. England beat Tunisia. And the West German penalty taker against England at Italia 90, Olaf Thon. Don't think many will get that. Sorry about that. A bit niche. Stephen McCairns wants half a point for Man City only. That's fair enough. It's a very binary quiz, this. I'm reluctant to split it any further. It's usually 1 or 0, but in the spirit of staying alert, I'll give you half a point for that, Stephen. No problem. What's the ale, says Steve Phillips. It's Einstock, which is a white, some sort of Icelandic white ale. It's not cheap. It's probably out of my pay grade, to be brutally honest, but it's locked down. We need to treat ourselves every now and then. Good scores coming in. 16 out of 20 from Dave Watt. Great score. Aid Sanders, 13. Steve Saul, 14. Carl Faulkner, 9. Cy Barlow, 13. Stewie Silvers, 15, but he didn't get bloody Tunisia. 5 out of 5 on the tees for Steve Phillips. Brilliant. Oh, great scores coming in. I need to give you the hero score so you know what you're up against. The leading score after 4 rounds was 12 last week. So if you're on 12 or above, you're doing really well. But you're all doing great anyway. Brilliant. 5 on the tees for Mike Pinkham. That's a comeback of Lazarus-like proportions, back up to 10 out of 20. Great work, Mike. Brilliant. Nick Watkins, Eggman 12, me 8, and Ramman 4. That's a split on your ×3 tables. Good stuff. Right. Round number 5. Steve and George on 10.5. Hearing me. Rob Harris, 16 out of 20 for Furlough FC. Neil Simpson saw Queen of the South play Dunfermline whilst on honeymoon. Top work, Neil. If you can squeeze a football match in on honeymoon, give yourself an extra point for that. Great stuff. Right. Round number 5, Lancashire. Sorry, Southerners. Round number 5 is Lancashire, the greatest county on God's earth. And for these purposes, it's old Lancashire boundaries. So we're not including Greater Manchester, we are including Greater Manchester, Liverpool, Merseyside, all that nonsense. But Liverpool and Manchester count as Lancashire clubs. It's Lancashire clubs, and Liverpool and Manchester definitely count as Lancashire clubs. Right. Round number 5. Question number 1. Striker John McGinley helped which club from the 3rd tier to the Premier League in the 1990s? Jack Baxter wants an Essex round. Essex has any decent football clubs? We could probably cobble one together. Graham Elliott wants a Southern round. Yeah, we can do that. Just Lancashire blessed with so many great clubs. I've probably alienated 3/4 of the audience here, haven't I? Sorry about this. Anyway, question number 1 repeated. John McGinley helped which club from the 3rd tier to the Premier League in the 1990s? Paul Bromley's only just turned up and wants to know how do you take part. Basically, make a note of the answers yourself, and you're competing against my Sunday League team. Probably better watch this one and then come in at 9 next week, Paul. But good to have you on board. Right, question number 2. Who are the old Invincibles? Invincibles? I can't even pronounce that. Who are the old Invincibles? They're known as the old. It's not their nickname, but in the wake of Arsenal's achievement, this club are generally known as the old Invincibles. Oh, the John McGinley question didn't go down very well. I'm a Wolves fan, lads. Sorry about that. Right. Question 3. Stan Mortenson's hat-trick helped who win the FA Cup final? Stanley Mortenson scored a hat-trick. Neil McDonough is looking for a Hertfordshire round. Watford and are Luton even in Hertfordshire? Who else are in Hertfordshire? Right. Question number 4. Joe Royal managed 3 Lancashire clubs. He managed 3 Lancashire clubs, Oldham, Everton and Manchester City. Which was the other club he managed, but they weren't in Lancashire? So he managed 4 in all. 3 of them were Lancashire clubs, Oldham, Everton and Manchester City. The 4th one wasn't. Which club is that? Luton is in Bedfordshire, says Stuart. Quite right. I should have known that. Which narrows down the Hertfordshire round even further. That won't be happening, Neil. And question number 5, who plays at Highbury Stadium? Who plays at Highbury Stadium? That's the last question of the Lancashire round. Question 4 again, says Graham. Yeah, Joe Royal, he managed 4 clubs. 3 of them were from Lancashire, Oldham, Everton and Man City. Who was the 4th club not from Lancashire? Paul Berry wants to know if there's going to be a question about an event of 7 years ago today. Yeah, it's 7 years since Troy Deeney scored. Unbelievably, Paul. Is there a question in next week's quiz about that? I had no idea that it was the 7th anniversary of Troy Deeney's goal. So I've done a question on added time goals for my Sunday League, which we did yesterday. So that'll be in next week's quiz. So there is going to be a Deeney question coming up soon. Question 3 again says Tom. Yes, Stanley Morton scored a hat-trick for who in the FA Cup final? Stanley Mortensen. Okay, let's move on to round number 6, and then we'll have a little break, do the answers, see how we're going on. Round number 6. Round number 6, it's possibly a southern, probably slight southern bias to round 6. No one will be pleased, but it's Alan Pardew. Round number 6 is Alan Pardew. I can hear you sighing from here. Question number 1, how many English clubs has he managed? How many English clubs has he managed? He's currently, or I think he's just finished at a Dutch club, hasn't he? So how many English clubs has Alan Pardew managed? Question number 2, what was the first club he managed? What was his first club in management? Question number 3, he scored the winning goal. This is very long-winded. Sorry about this. Should make them shorter. He scored the winning goal in the epic 1990 FA Cup semi-final, Crystal Palace against Liverpool, 4-3. One of the greatest days of televised footy in this country at the time, when there wasn't much televised footy. The final then between Palace and Man United was a 3-3 draw. United run the replay 1-0. Who scored the only goal of the replay? That's a very long-winded way of saying who scored Manchester United's winner in the 1990 FA Cup final replay against Crystal Palace. Far more recently, question 4, who did he headbutt in 2014 whilst managing Newcastle? Who did he headbutt in 2014? Just the surname is fine. Don't have to get the spelling right. Just the surname. Who did he headbutt in 2014? Rob Goodliff joining the party late. 5 out of 10 for a team of 3 playing on a 20-minute delay. That's brilliant. So you'll probably be in about 6 or 7 rounds in when we're all wrapped up. I like that. Benefit of technology, playing on delay. Stuart Silver says any football question has 6 degrees of separation from Alan Pardew. That's an interesting point. Yeah, you're probably right. Question number 5. We haven't finished the round, sorry. Question number 5. Who was he manager of when he won the 2012 LMA Manager of the Year award? So he won the 2012 Manager of the Year award for the League Managers Association. Who was he manager of? And that's the end of the round. Shout me if you want the question repeated again. I'm just going to nip for a quick refill, and then we'll have a bit of a longer break at this point anyway, and then we'll come in with the answers and round number 7. Cool. Right, let's do the answers. Oh, what year was the Pardew headbutts at Stuart Silvers? It was 2014. 2014, yeah. Let's go with the answers. Round number 5, Lancashire. John McGinley played for Bolton Wanderers. Sorry about that, Wolves fans. Question 2, the old Invincibles are Preston North End. Preston North End. Question 3, Stanley Morton scored a hat-trick. Mortensen rather scored a hat-trick for Blackpool. Stan Mortensen scored a hat-trick for Blackpool. Question 4, Joe Royle managed Oldham, Everton City and Ipswich Town. Ipswich Town was the 4th club. And the last question, who plays at Highbury Stadium? It's Fleetwood Town. Fleetwood Town. On to the Alan Pardew answers. Cy Barlow once successfully passed himself off as Alan Pardew for over a year. Blimey, that's surprising. Over a year. That must have been hard to keep up that as an act. Right, Pardew, here he goes. He's managed 7 English clubs. The first club was Reading. Lee Martin scored Manchester United's winner against Pardew's Palace in 1990. David Myler was headbutted by Pardew, the Hull player. And last of all, as he won the LMA Manager of the Year award while managing Newcastle United. So let me know how you got on. The leading hero of Waterloo had scored 18 points. Luke had scored 18 points last week. Bands propping us all up on 13. So between 13 and 18 is what you're looking for. 14 for Steve, good work. Aid Sanders, 18. 16 for Mike Pinkham, who's pulled this one out of the bag. He got to 2 after 2 rounds, wasn't he? It's brilliant. Graham Elliott, 20, great score, G, with his team of 4, I think. Steve Saul, 21, great scoring. Richie Gillam, 17. Carl Faulkner, 14, well done, Carl. Paul Berry, 22, and Dave Watt, 21. Neck and neck, the Wolverhampton Grammar boys. 16 and a half for Jack Baxter, taking the liberty of giving himself a half point. Trapper on 24, brilliant scoring. Trapper, is that you individually or a team? And Andy Adamson, 23. Is that individual or a team? Matt Dobson, 22. The Dobson come as a 3-generation collective, I think. Son, dad and grandson. So more importantly, Simon Barlow passed himself off as Alan Pardew for a year. A West Ham fan was texting him mistakenly as he put his mobile phone number on a package delivered to Pardew's house, and he was the courier. So there you go. So a West Ham fan thought that Cy was Alan Pardew because it was his phone number on a package delivered to Alan Pardew's house. And Rob Harris has come in with a little-known Alan Pardew fact. He played for Spurs in their record defeat, 8-0 against Cologne in the Intertoto Cup. I didn't know that. He was loaned especially for the tournament. This is great stuff. We'll talk about Alan Pardew during this toilet interval. Why not? 17 out of 30 for Caroline Smith, who excelled in the Lancashire round. A proud Prestonian. Stewie Silver's 23, Cy 21. Wolf Whistle Podcast, great to have you here, 13. Dan Owen, 12. Good stuff, this. Iggy Neal, I think Iggy is with a Coventry team. They're on 20. Okay, good stuff. So we're into the last 4 rounds now. Last 4 rounds of the quiz. Sorry, what was the number of clubs that Pardew managed? He managed 7 clubs. 7 clubs he managed. Reading was the first one. Was West Brom the last? Can't remember in this country. Okay, so round number 7 is Holland at the World Cup. Matthew Moore with a team of 3 on 24. Brilliant scoring. So Holland at the World Cup for round number 7. And the first one is a multiple choice round. Who was their top scorer in the 2010 World Cup finals? 1 of 4. Was it Arjen Robben, Wesley Sneijder, Robin van Persie, or Dirk Kuyt? I'd run out of run out of Holland forwards there, so I had to put Dirk Kuyt in. So it's essentially 1 out of 3, isn't it? Arjen Robben, Wesley Sneijder, or Robin van Persie, or Dirk Kuyt. Question number 2. Holland lost the 1978 World Cup final to Argentina. What was the score? The 78 final, they lost to Argentina. What was the score? Question number 3. At the 2014 World Cup, they brought on a specialist goalkeeper just for the penalty shootout against Costa Rica. They brought him on in the 121st minute. Who was he? So they brought on a specialist keeper at the 2014 World Cup in the last minute of their draw against Costa Rica. And it did the trick. They went through. Richard Gillam says it was a great World Cup for ticker tape. 78 he's referring to there, definitely. Way before my time, but obviously I've seen the videos. Question 4. Who was the English referee at the 1974 World Cup final against West Germany, who awarded Holland a penalty after just a minute, or less than a minute it actually was. Less than a minute. Who was the English ref at the 74 World Cup final against Germany, awarded Holland a penalty after a minute? And the last question is also multiple choice. Again, goes back to scorers. Their all-time World Cup leading scorer has got 7. So 7 across all finals. Who is their all-time leading World Cup goal scorer? And it's a choice of 4. It is Dennis Bergkamp, Robin van Persie, Johnny Rep, or Arjen Robben. Dennis Bergkamp, Robin van Persie, Johnny Rep, or Arjen Robben. A couple of multiple choices there. So if you need the answers again, let me know. Questions even. Super Slow-Mo says the 78 World Cup theme tune was Mustard. BBC one, he quickly points out. There used to be a good battle of theme tunes. I was a massive fan of the Mexico 86 ITV theme tune, which was later adopted by Saint and Greavesy. But as a rule, the BBC have generally been the stronger when it comes to World Cup theme tunes. Don't know the 78 one, though. We'll probably YouTube it straight after this quiz. Okay, if you're all happy with the questions there. Steve Phillips says Azteca Lightning. For the BBC theme tune, I'm guessing. Right, round number 8 is unique last names in the league. So what I mean by this is a team that has a suffix. The last name is unique. No other team has it. So, for example, Aston Villa. There are no other Villas in the league. So all the answers or questions relate to teams that have a unique surname. A unique surname. Rob Goodliff, on a 20-minute delay, has piled in with 12 out of 20. It's great having Rob on catch-up as we're still playing live. Team of 3, slowly catching up. I think you'd probably be ticking along at the same time, but wouldn't it be good if they found a facility to catch up? Right, so round number 8, unique last names in the league. Question number 1. Owner Mark Goldberg took which club into administration in the 1990s? Owner Mark Goldberg took which club into administration in the 1990s? Quick dive back into Holland at the World Cup. Question 5, the options, Stuart, were, so this is the leading World Cup scorer of all time. The options were Bergkamp, Van Persie, Rep, or Robin. There are your 4 options. Right, question 2. John Rudge managed which club for 16 years between 1983 and 1999? John Rudge managed which club for 16 years between 83 and 99? Farrell Monk says, is this round Football League or Premier League? It's all 4 divisions. It does say, yeah, it does say unique last names in the league. Yeah, I always mean the 4 divisions when I talk about the league. It'll always be the 4 divisions unless I say non-league. God, I think there's only Villa. There's probably only Villa with a unique surname in the Premier League. There might be. I know there are. There's more. There's more. Anyway, question 3. Aston Villa keeper Jimmy Rimmer was injured after 9 minutes of the 1982 European Cup final. Who came on to replace him? Famous substitution back in the day. Apologies to the kids playing tonight, but it was a famous substitution back in the day. Jimmy Rimmer lost the Aston Villa keeper, injured after 9 minutes, and someone definitely wet behind the ears in terms of experience came on in the 82 Cup final and had a blinder. Question number 4. Who is the current Preston North End manager? Who is the current Preston North End manager? And the last question, the former England cricketer and England cricket coach David Lloyd played for who in football? Who did he play for in football? Cool. So if we've got all the questions there, we'll rattle on with the answers. Too many Preston North End questions, says Jack Baxter. Probably, yeah. There's been 2, haven't there? But Caroline will be happy. She's a regular player of this. No Sheffield Wednesday question, says Stuart Silvers. There was one about the Boxing Day massacre last week, I'm sure, though, which has got to be Sheffield Wednesday's favourite ever game. Richard Gillam is on Caroline's side, pointing out that they were the original Invincibles. Right, let's go on with the answers. So round number 7 is Holland at the World Cup. Top scorer at the 2010 finals with 5 goals was Wesley Sneijder. Wesley Sneijder. Question 2, the 78 World Cup final finished Argentina 3, Holland 1. Argentina 3, Holland 1. Just before we carry on with the answers, Joe Parker wants question found in 5 in round 8. Yes. Former England cricketer and England cricket coach David Lloyd played football for which team? Who did he play football for? Right, let's crack on with the answers for Holland. The 2014 specialist penalty shootout keeper was Tim Krul. Tim Krul was brought on. The English referee at the 74 final was Jack Taylor. Jack Taylor at the 74 final. I think he gave a penalty to both sides in that. But he definitely gave one to Holland after just a minute. And question number 5, Holland's all-time leading scorer across all tournaments on 7 goals is Johnny Rep. Johnny Rep. Round number 8 is the unique last names in football round. The club in administration in the 90s was Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace. John Rudge managed Port Vale. Jimmy Rimmer was replaced by Nigel Spink. Nigel Spink. Alex Neil is the Preston manager. Alex Neil is the current Preston manager. And England cricketer David Lloyd played for Accrington Stanley. Carl Faulkner wants to know, is it true that John Rudge was a Wolves fan and wore Wolves colours underneath his Port Vale shirt collar? I think Rudge was a Wolves fan. I think you're right there, but I don't know about his sartorial habits, but he's definitely a Wolves fan. I think you're right. Okay, so after 8 rounds, the leading hero of Waterloo had 25 points. It was Tomo, eventual winner Tomo, with Sav just behind him on 24. So 25, you're a winner tonight. And Aid Sanders has popped in straight away with 25. That's a winning score. Stewie Silver's 31 is flying. Graham Elliott, 21. 2 bad rounds, but still a good score. Nick Hansen, 20. Dave and Caris Owen, 21. Paul Berry, 30. Brilliant scoring. Jack Taylor was a Wolves fan, says the Wolf Whistle podcast. Mike Pinkham, 23. Trapper, 33. Great scores. Caroline Smith, 22. Propped up by another Preston question, surely. Andy Adamson, great scoring, Andy. 30. Rob Harris, 34 with his team. But on 27 of 40, that's a team 2. Oh, these are good scores. 17 out of 40 for Dan. That's very respectable. Nick Watkins, Eggman 23, me 22, and Ramman 9. So that 3-horse race has quickly become a 2. Pete Carville, 28 out of 40. Good to see you here tonight, Pete. Crawford and Scott Miles, big Evertonians, on 30. Richard Hughes on 17. Jack Baxter saying he is the youngest here. He's on 19.5 out of 40. Baxter, Sapwell, and the Hat. They are the youngest here. I'm well pleased you've stuck it out, because there are a lot of old golden oldies questions in this, Jack. Good on you for sticking this out. You won't be impressed by the next round. In fairness, Jack, you weren't here last week, and the opening round was the Europa League. It was all modern day questions, but you weren't here. So round number 9 is Euro 92. Jack probably wasn't even born. But you should know your history, and if you don't, look at it on as an educational exercise. Right, Euro 92, here we go. Question number 1. One of the countries at Euro 92 pulled out, and they were replaced by eventual winners Denmark. So Denmark won Euro 92, but who pulled out to allow them in? Who allowed Denmark in? Question number 2, it's multiple choice. How many teams played at Euro 92? How many teams played at Euro 92? Was it 8, 12, 16, or 20? 8, 12, 16, or 20? Question number 3, who was the England goalkeeper at Euro 92? So who was the first choice goalkeeper, England's goalkeeper at Euro 92? Question number 4 could banjax a lot of players. Sorry about this. Which Danish defender signed for Liverpool after the tournament? Bit niche. Sorry about this. Danish defenders who signed for Liverpool after Euro 92. And question number 5, where was Euro 92 held? Which country was Euro 92 held in? What we'll do is we'll do the scores after this round to build up some sort of drama and tension ahead of the final round. So take a minute or so there. Let me know if you need any questions repeated. And Rob Goodliff on a 20-minute delay with his team of 3 on 18 out of 30. So I think that's good scoring, that, Rob. I have to go back, but 18 out of 30. Yeah, that would have you winning the quiz. 18 out of 30 against the Heroes. If you played for the Heroes, you'd be winning the quiz. You'd be joint top with Luke. Good stuff on your 20-minute delay. Steve Saul, question 4 again. Yes, which Danish defender signed for Liverpool after the tournament? We'll do the answers in a sec, so you know what you're going for. I mean, some players are flying on this, competing against my Sunday League team, but others closer down, further down. So we'll do the scores, see how we get on. Right, Euro 92, the answers. Bit of a political history one, this one. Oh, question 5 again, says Tom Dell. The last minute. Yes, where was Euro 92 held? So it's held in which country was it held in? It wasn't held in more than one country. Just one country. Where was it held? Right, let's do the answers. The country that pulled out, allowing Denmark in, who went on to win it, was Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia got in political turmoil at the time. 8 teams played at Euro 92. 8 teams played at Euro 92. The England goalkeeper was Chris Woods. Chris Woods, who should have been in goal at 1990. Question number 4. The Danish defender, Torben Picnic. I'm not sure anyone will get that. If you do top work, I wouldn't have known that. Question 5. Euro 92 was held in Sweden. It was held in Sweden. So, how are you getting on? Just one round to go in this quiz. If you have scored 29 points or more, you're in front. You're a winner at the moment. You're because Tomo for the Heroes got 29. Wolf Whistle got Torben Picnic. Great work, mate. So 29 points puts you well out in front. 21. Bobby was on 21. So that was the spread of points. Bobby and Bands, former winner Bands, both on 21. There's some massive scores coming in. Stewie Silver's 35, Graham Elliott 23, Dave Watt 32, Paul Berry 33. Neck and neck. I'm loving the Watt Berry subplot going on tonight. They're competing unwittingly, but they are, according to me, putting their scores in at the same time. Butts 31, Richard Hughes 21, Andy Adamson 33, Pete Carville 33. The team Trapper 37, huge scoring. Rob Harris with Furlough FC 39. Great scores. Wolf Whistle Podcast recovered to 20. Neil Simpson, 30 out of 45. Terrible last round, but 30 is a great score. Hang on, 30. You're winning my Sunday League quiz, mate. Kaz and Tommy on 24. Great scoring as well. Mark Fien on 29. Chris on 31. Cy Barlow, 33. Great work, Cy. Dan Owen, 19. Top stuff. Okay, so this is the last round of this quiz. If 33 points you need to win the quiz to beat my Sunday League team, and plenty of you have got that already. But let's go to the last round. The last round is called centre forwards, and we've already got rid of the Steve Bull question, so you can sleep easy. Right, centre forwards. And question number 1, who is Tottenham Hotspur's all-time leading goal scorer? Who is Tottenham Hotspur's all-time leading goal scorer? Stewie Silver says, who is the Danish left back at Liverpool? Don't know. Torben Picnic was the answer to the question. Is he thinking of Bjornaby, the Norwegian? Anyway, right. Question 2: who is the current leading scorer in the 2019-20 Premier League? So before lockdown, all those weeks ago, who was leading the charts? He's got 19 goals. 19 goals. Jack Baxter thanking me for a Spurs question. Finally, I'll throw a few more Spurs questions in the coming weeks, Jack. Which former Millwall manager is also their all-time leading goal scorer? He's on 138 goals. 138 goals. Question 4, who does Adebayo Akinfenwa play for? Who does Adebayo Akinfenwa play for? Also known as the Beast. And question 5, name this former England and Premier League striker from the clubs he played for in order. So name this former England and Premier League striker from these clubs: Blackburn, Southampton, Everton, Sheffield United, Stoke, Rangers, Blackpool, Sheffield United again, Accrington Stanley. Who's that? Blackburn, Southampton, Everton, Sheffield United, Stoke, Rangers, Blackpool, Sheffield United again, and Accrington Stanley. Take a minute or so. Shout me if you need any of the questions again. That's the last round of this quiz. This week's winning score from the Heroes of Waterloo is 33. If you've scored 33 or more, you've won. 23 brought up the rear, but I'm looking for people who take part, so it doesn't really matter what your score is. Right, question 2 and 3 again. Yeah, for the centre forwards. 2 and 3, here they come. So who's the current leading scorer in the 2019-20 Premier League season? So who's currently the leading scorer in the Premier League? He's got 19 goals. And question 3, who is Millwall's all-time leading scorer? Who's Millwall's all-time leading scorer? And he also managed them as well. Glenn Hussein says Chris Johnson. He was Swedish, fairly sure. Swedish, might not be. Yes, Stewie and Silvers and Steve Saul say he was Swedish. He might. Don't know. Well, it wasn't him anyway. Yeah, definitely Swedish by everyone. Okay, let's go through the answers. Question number 1, Jimmy Greaves. Jimmy Greaves is Tottenham's all-time leading scorer. Question number 2, Jamie Vardy is the leading scorer in the Premier League. Tom Lawrence, who seems to have joined this quiz very late, piling in with an answer on the message board. Tom, if you're playing this again, you don't give the answers away, but come back next week and crack on with it. But yeah, don't put answers on the message board. Question number 3, Millwall's leading goal scorer is Neil Harris. Neil Harris, top bloke. Question number 4, Adebayo Akinfenwa played for Wycombe Wanderers. He played for Wycombe Wanderers. Matt Dobson is still shaking from when Akinfenwa and George Elokobi went shoulder to shoulder at Gillingham away in League One. Yeah, that's a matchup. Elokobi and Akinfenwa. They definitely worked on their upper body strength. Went to the same gym as me. And question number 5, the last question of this week's quiz. The England and Premier League striker was James Beattie. James Beattie. So how did you get on? 33 wins you the quiz. 23 gets you inside the scoring bracket for my Sunday League team, the Heroes of Waterloo. But thanks for coming along and playing. Joe Parker, 33 out of 50. Good scoring. Joe with a £1 million drop team, I think. Might be wrong on that. Paul Berry wins on 38 out of 50. Good lad. So does Stewie Silvers, 39. Loads in the 29s as well. Super Slow-Mo, 39. Great scoring. Super Slow-Mo. Tom Dell loves the Wycombe mention. Oh, I'll get Wycombe again. I'll get Wycombe in again. Baz, Skip, Glenn and Odd. Great club, Wycombe. They are new to the league, but I do like them. Relatively new to the league. DDB, the Daydream Believers team of 2. 36. Just 2 this week, Chris. 36 out of 50. Well done. That's great scoring for 2 of you. Kaz and Tommy on 27. Great scoring. The Watford boys, Butts on 35. Aid Sanders, 26. Oh, loads of good scores rattling in. 26.5, says Jack Baxter. Give yourself another half for rattling in a free half. Half for Enterprise there. Pete Carville, 38 out of 50. Great scoring. Thanks, everyone, for playing. We're definitely going to be back next week. Quiz number 8's been done. Looks like it's going to be a while till football kicks off again in this country. So there'll probably be a few more of these quizzes. Thanks ever so much for coming along. 43 out of 50 for Furlough FC. Brilliant stuff. And the 3-way Battle of Wolverhampton. Nick Watkins on 28. Eggman on 28. A 28-all draw. Brilliant. With Ramman on 11, but wants a double score for getting Torben Picnic. You can have another point, Ram, for getting Torben Picnic. That takes you to 12. Thanks ever so much for playing, and we'll see you next week. Hopefully.